Okay, it says we are live again.
Lies and slander.
That's right.
Let's see.
Talk shows and podcasts. Done. Okay, we are back up and live, allegedly.
That's for my patrons.
There you go. I'll probably cut some of this out anyway.
Oh, probably. I can't sing lawnmower like your person can lawnmower or do anything else.
Uh-huh.
Is that the lawnmower on your side?
That's the lawnmower on my side.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought we were getting feedback for a minute. I'm like, what the hell now is going on?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even... He might be my neighbor and not the people behind me. Wonderful.
Just stick your head out and be like, hey, I'm trying to do a podcast here.
Hey, shut the fuck up!
No, that
Hey, yo!
I'm walking
to
here.
New York. Hey,
I'm podcasting here.
Hey,
Hey!
come on.
Go. Okay, you guys ready to hop back in?
Yep.
Seems like it.
Alright, start again. 3, 2, 1. Technical difficulties. Apologies, everyone. Moon, I think you had wrapped up talking about The Surge?
Yes, I had.
Okay.
So, the Surge. Yes. Whatever
Apologies for
saying.
some noise in the background of my track, too, because someone different other than the usual lawnmower noise is happening. So, but this is just a rough week all around.
To bring you behind the curtain a little bit, it's been a rough 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been, yeah.
So, out of curiosity, did your neighbor cut your internet connection?
Yeah, I'm back online, so maybe they just duct taped it really quick.
Yeah, slice. Yeah. Well, it's tape, done.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah.
But yes, The Surge. I'm still going to keep playing it. I've got a game to beat. I may or may not have pre-ordered 3 games this week as well. So
you're amongst friends.
All that come out next week.
Yeah, March 23rd.
Yes, I think. Wait. Well, I got Resident Evil 3, the remake.
Comes out soon, yeah.
March. It's March. Doom Eternal, which is
20th.
March.
Yep.
And the game that's going to destroy my life, Space Engineers on the Xbox, is finally here.
Okay.
Which, I mean, based on the bedazzled look in your eyes, Boston, I'm guessing that you don't know what it is.
I don't remember this game, no.
Minecraft in space, but you can like build spaceships and like mine resources and then use them to build frames for a vehicle in space and then build your own spaceships.
Whoa.
It's insane.
That's
and
cool.
I'm so looking forward to playing this.
Yeah.
I CC'd my wife in it when I realized it was coming out. I was like, bye life, and she was like, yo, and then turns out it's $20. So
Yeah.
Might as well get that one on the way. But the only other game I played this week was pretty much inspired by my I'm going to go back and watch 5-year-old Giant Bomb videos, which is to say I got up to the point where they are now doing Exquisite Core.
Yes.
Which is their XCOM playthrough where they pass off the controller essentially between episodes.
Race.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the game they are playing is XCOM.
The first of the new ones, right?
They're playing Enemy Within, which is the DLC version.
Yes, right.
I don't have the DLC, so I am playing Enemy Unknown, which is a game I started when it got nominated for all of those Game of the Years when it came out. I was like, this looks cool. I could do with a good turn-based strategy game. Then promptly stopped playing it and probably continued playing something else.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, right now, thank you, this is the police, too, I realized I could really do with a turn-based strategy game.
Yeah.
So I started playing XCOM. I only started it today, so I'm not that far in it.
Sure.
Backwards compatibility works like a charm.
Nice.
Because I got it digitally, so it's basically already in my ready-to-go list. Yeah. I click it, the game loads, and then I get 720p on my 4K television. It's hilarious.
Wow.
And the game has a cartoony look to it at the best of times anyway, so it's even doubly hilarious. But you know what? It's XCOM. And I don't really have to think while I'm playing it.
Yeah.
It's turn-based. It's like, if A, then B.
You
know?
got the percentages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which are lies. We all know
always
the
lies.
percentage is lies.
It's always going to be
I've
a
never
miss.
never missed so many times on a 99% hit rate.
Yeah. I got about halfway through it. I'm just starting it again fresh because why not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like XCOM.
It's a really good game.
Really good.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I might buy XCOM 2 now because that's on the Xbox One.
I got a little worried about XCOM 2 when it had a rocky launch. There were a bunch of bugs and stuff, but I always got worried about it because it seemed like reminiscent of This Is the Police 2. Well, it seems like they kind of added a lot to XCOM 2, and a lot of the stuff they added was sort of like,
Did you really need it?
yeah, like maybe I'm not as invested in the world management stuff. I just want to go do the missions.
Yeah. It's a bit like when they released Sonic 2006 and it was like an open world adventure action game. It's just like,
Yeah,
why?
just like that, you missed the whole point.
Say Sonic. I'm hip with the kids. I'm referencing Sonic. Granted, my Sonic is from 2006 and probably the worst version of Sonic.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I like it. It's XCOM. It's dumb. I'm going to throw grenades at those aliens and then get told off by the stupid scientist lady for throwing grenades at those aliens.
Yeah.
Instead of, yeah.
They need to be dead, scientist lady.
I had 6 aliens on screen at once. So I used my rocket launcher guy to blow up 4 of them to give me a better chance of dealing with the other 2. And she immediately was on the radio complaining to me about it. It's just like, I just stunned a floater. Do you know how hard that was?
I'm
And
trying
now
to
you're
bring our boys
complaining.
back home.
This happened. Not to mention, there is an achievement for having one soldier survive every single mission in the game. That means they have to participate in every single mission in the game.
Oh man, that's rough.
So, lady, shut up.
He needs to live.
I will get you your corpses. I will get you your live people eventually.
Yeah.
Let me do it how I want to do it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll get you your corpses.
She'll get all the corpses she wants by the
That's right.
time I'm done with them alien
In
scumbags.
due time.
Yeah. But yeah, XCOM. Expect more on the XCOM and Surge front soon. They are my 2 games of choice. I'm playing a Dark Souls game and a turn-based strategy game. Like, I feel really weird.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm the Dark Souls game is expected. It's me. The turn-based strategy game makes me head towards the realm of you 2 guys.
Yeah, like what are you
And
going to play?
before you know it, I'm playing
Atelier
visual
game
novels and
Yeah, exactly. Although I did hear decent things about Phoenix Point. If you get tired of XCOM, maybe check that out too.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that, yeah.
There's that, and then my wife's got the turn-based strategy game, which is by the same devs who did This Is the Police 2 as well, whatever it's called.
Rogue
Slightly
Cops?
Crazy Cops or whatever.
Rebel Cops. Sorry, Rebel Cops.
There we go.
Yeah, it's in our game club list, yeah.
Or if you just want to take a deep dive, there's always Final Fantasy Tactics or Disgaea or...
No, I'm good. I put my 1,000 hours into this guy way back when.
Yeah, you've paid your dues.
But just one, right?
Yeah, just the first one.
Yeah.
I think it was it the DS version? Was there a DS version that they had of that?
Yeah, there was. I own
Because
that
I
too.
put like 500 hours into the normal version, and then I put like 1,000 into the DS version because it's like now I can play it on the go.
I have too many copies of all the Disgaea games and
Yeah.
too many hours into each of those games.
Wait,
Yeah.
Mr. Prinny himself has too many Disgaea things. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, I rebought the remake of Disgaea 1 that came with the Prinny box.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
All right, speaking of JRPGs, Nimp, what do you have this week?
So, I almost wish I didn't have JRPGs on here just to stick it to you.
But let me guess, there's 2 of them at least.
At least. So, Atelier Ryza went through and beat that finally.
You say these titles, and I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
And that was me shortening it. I didn't add the Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. So last week when I went up against the final boss, it kicked my butt no problem. So I went on a deep dive on item creation, and I found a way to basically loop items that you've made back into themselves, where you make, let's say you make like a piece of paper, you can craft, I don't know, like alchemy fiber by, doing its formula, but then you can add this piece of paper to go back into that paper if you go to remake that paper. So I was on like this weird loop of equivalent exchange does not apply here.
It reminds me of Skyrim, because I do the enchantment trick for Skyrim. Anytime I play it now, it's just like, I'm going to put enchantment on this ring, and then make a ring with enchantment while wearing this ring, and then replace that ring with the stronger ring of enchantment, and then make a new ring of enchantment, and you just keep it going.
Yeah. So that was basically what I was doing, where I now have 999 quantity of a bunch of items, but I was thinking, hey, since I found this out, there's got to be a guide or a video, and there's a lot of them, and you can feasibly break this game before you even hit the halfway point in the game.
Yeah.
And to the point that there's guides where you can make armor where the DLC side bosses that are supposed to be like stupidly powerful on the hardest difficulty are only doing 1 HP of damage to you.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
So I fell down that rabbit hole hard, where I have a bunch of armor that is high quality. You can move your traits around, so you can have the armor have different traits, like buffing your attack, your defense, your speed, or having it so that your characters heal better or whatever. And then, of course, I have the duplicator, so all I have to do is make one item, and then I can duplicate it.
Oh, cool.
So you can't do it with items that you gather. Like if you get, let's just say you get like an olive branch. It's not going to apply to this game, but you get an olive branch, you can't duplicate that. But if you make olive oil, you can duplicate the olive oil because that's something that you created.
Right. You can't duplicate the raw ingredients, but you can duplicate the things you've made.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I went back to the final boss just to see where I was at, what all I have to do to get better. No, I did not one-shot him, but I was able to hold my own really well, just kind of screwing around, because I wasn't adding certain abilities or traits or anything to the weapons and armor that I was making. I was just testing the loop to see, how feasible it is and what all I can do.
Yeah.
And I was able to hold my own. The boss battle took me probably about a half hour.
Okay.
There are multiple tiers.
Of course.
Of course.
Here come the Latin lyrics.
Exactly. Yeah, like the thing that I posted. And in one of the forms, for some reason, I still don't know how, it one-shotted one of my characters.
Oh, wow.
At full health and everything. And I had this thing debuffed, so it had low attack, low defense, and its speed was slowed, so it wasn't acting as many times. And somehow it just one-shotted a character at full health. Don't know what it did, don't know how it did it. It never happened again. But I didn't bring anything to revive my characters because I wasn't expecting to do so well on this turnaround.
Right.
So I had to fight the rest of the battle, which is 2 characters, which was not... It was difficult, but it wasn't hard. I was able to mitigate everything just fine, but... God, that game was difficult.
Yeah.
So, game is beat. It had a pretty decent ending. I am really looking forward to playing more. I don't know how... I know this is going to be part of a trilogy, but I don't know if you're playing as the same characters within the trilogy, or if it's, another new character, and then you see these characters, somewhere else in the world, or what happens. But I really liked it, and I might actually buy the DLC once it goes on sale, because the season pass is the same as the game at $60 just about.
Season pass is on sale right now.
Yeah, for like $35.
Yeah.
Waiting to see if it goes any lower. We got plenty of holiday sales coming up.
That's true.
But yeah, so it was really fun. I really, really got into the alchemy grind, which is pretty much a lot of what I did this week. But not only the thing that I did. Played Division 2.
Yes. What platform?
Xbox One.
Okay.
Almost said 360 had to have it.
720p Division 2.
Yeah. I am level 10 now, and I finally have an upgraded primary weapon that's to my level. It is a level 10 classic M1A. The same thing that I've been running with a level 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But now I have, I now have a small grip on it and I have an 8-cock scope on it. So that's working out for me. Not much more to say about it. It's just easier to take guys down now.
Yeah.
Instead of doing 5 shots, I'm back down to 2.
There you go.
Cool beans. Kingdoms of Amalur. Or, I'm sorry, not Amalur, Jesus. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Come on, it's generic, medieval name here kind of thing.
Yeah. Played the game with a controller this time instead of mouse to keyboard, and I was able to beat up the drunk with no issues.
Yay.
And then after I beat him up, he gave me the key to his house, and he told me that I can take whatever he has in there to pay off his debt to your father in the game, the blacksmith, for the axe, hammer, and nails that he had. The guy has nothing in his house except for the axe, hammer, and nails that were given to him that we were expecting payment for. So I just took those from him. The guy's got like chopped wood all over his house and stuff, so I don't know what he's been doing to not earn money, but I took all that crap back and sold it so I can continue on with the quest of grabbing things. And I'm at the point now where I'm ready to do I have to meet up with like a fight instructor or something like that to learn how to be a swordsman or to at least know how to use a sword. And I was going to do that, but then my wife has been playing Sims 4 pretty much all the time on my computer, so I haven't had a chance to get back to it. So, the next game that I played was Minecraft on the 360 with my daughter. She wanted to play in the Christmas Town themed world, and for some reason she decided that she wanted the village to be standing in 3 feet of water.
Okay.
So
some people just want to watch the world drown.
That's right.
She's one of them. We spent hours with buckets of water flooding the village, and then she got bored with that. So then we started making iron golems. So now we have a flooded village with about 30 or 40 iron golems. And then she wanted to make a wither because she's like, we have all these golems. They need something to fight. The problem is, though, is that she doesn't like the monsters in the game. So we always play in peaceful. So you can't create enemies in a peaceful environment.
Oh, okay.
Which made her kind of mad. She really wanted to see all these golems fight something. I was like, all right, maybe next time, whatever. But I spent a lot of time just flooding stuff and just checking out how water still works in this game. It's basically the same thing we did with the Nightmare Before Christmas Town, where we have like all the buildings are covered in water, and we wanted to see how high we could get the water level up to. Surprisingly, very high on the 360 version of the game.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you can pretty much have your whole village underwater, no issue. You just have to dam up the village, that way the water stays put.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So, next game, Final Fantasy VII, the re-release for the PS4. My son is playing it, and
Nice.
I've been helping him out with it a lot.
This is not the remake. This is the old re-release.
Yes,
Yeah.
where it has the cheats in it and stuff like that. Spoilers for a 23-year-old game. Like, jump ahead 15 seconds or whatever.
Right.
1, 2, 3. So my kids got to the point where Aerith dies.
Right.
And my son wasn't happy about it because he was missing a party member.
It's an impactful moment.
Yeah. My daughter, on the other hand, who I didn't know was in the room watching him play it because she watches him play off and on, was fairly distraught at the fact that she is dead.
Yeah.
And had a whole lot of questions about why did he kill her. I thought he was the good guy.
Well, let's talk about the planet and materia. Sit down. It's time we had this chat.
So we had to
Out of curiosity here, which came first, Minecraft or Final Fantasy? Because there might be some cause and effect here that we might be missing.
It was Minecraft first for her.
Okay.
Well, actually for both of them, really, but
Okay, so she decided to drown the world before she drowned in her own tears.
But because there's nobody in Minecraft that she cares about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had to have a fun conversation with her and pretty much walk her through the entire storyline of what was happening to that point.
Yeah.
Good old Final Fantasy VII. 23 years later, still giving out
still scarring
life
kids.
issues. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because if you remember, this is the game that I had to explain to them what CPR was, and that no, Cloud isn't kissing that little girl. He's performing CPR because she was drowning.
Right.
So,
Yep.
Let's listen to Staying Alive for a minute here.
Exactly. Let's see, what else? I've also got, I think this is my last game, actually, which is another JRPG, Shining Resonance Refrain.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's the names. Every single time it's the names.
So this was on sale this week for $11 since I beat Ryza, and this was one that I'd been watching off and on. Came out in 2018, so I've just been kind of watching prices and stuff like that, and it's $11 right now on PSN.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it, why not? I'll finally pick it up. It's pretty cheap.
If anyone is looking for a bunch of JRPG sales, they're big in Japan sales going on right now, and it's pretty much every JRPG that is on the platform, including Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, which you should go buy and play.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I started this game. It's not a terribly deep game.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I'm not looking for anything really deep right now. I'm kind of just looking for something to play until 7 comes out again. Right. But the story's just kind of so-so right now. There's a lot of things that are happening that it's like, okay, I see this is foreshadowing this already, and this is happening, and a lot of just weird, stupid tropes that are kind of happening.
You're the villain that joined my party who very clearly looks evil, but you have amnesia, so I don't remember.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. My character does... Oh, crap. He might actually have amnesia.
Yeah.
They don't
Check.
They don't come out and say it, but there's a lot when the game starts, he's in prison because he's being experimented on. Yeah. So the game starts with one of the characters rescuing your main character.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if he's been in this experimental prison thing for most of his life, or if just weird things are going on, because he seems to know enough about the world to get along.
Sure. With
day-to-day stuff, but he doesn't know the ins and outs of, okay, this is that kingdom kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe he's stupid. I don't know.
With a JRPG, that's always it's an option. I'm just real dumb.
So the game is also kind of on the smaller side as well, where you only have one town as your main hub, and then from there you kind of go out to these other separate hubs, like the playing fields, and you go out there and fight monsters and gather items and stuff like that. You've got your item shops, your quest givers, your alchemy thing, which feels really lame because I am coming off of Ryza. So.
Right.
Yeah. But the battle system is actually pretty decent in the game, where your main character can turn into a dragon at any point in time in battle.
There we go.
Yeah, and of course, there's only like a certain amount of time he can stay in that form. But if you overuse the ability in battle, he can go berserk, and it just attacks everything on the field.
Interesting.
So that kind of sucks when it happens. Mm-hmm. But they also have an AP ring around your character, where your characters run around just like a Tales of game. Mm-hmm. And you keep using your abilities and your attacks, and your little ring gauge will start to shrink. And if you overuse it, obviously you can't do anything for a while until it recharges. But if you stop attacking, it actually recharges fairly fast. So you're not, doing 2 attacks and then waiting a minute for the thing to recharge so you can do another 2 attacks. It's fairly fast paced, and you can take on more powerful enemies in this game because you can move around quite a bit. So like I was fighting a level 15 ogre when my characters were level 8. Mm-hmm. All I had to do was move them out of the way of the attack, and I don't think I got hit once during that fight. Yeah. Which normally fighting anything that's that many levels ahead of you is just an instant one shot.
Yeah, it's the beauty of the different combat systems. That's why, like, I love when RPGs use those different combat systems because it allows that kind of flexibility where it's like, I want to kill you, and if it's turn-based, you're just going to bite me once and kill me.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's action-based, then it becomes like Bayonetta, and you're just like, if I'm good enough, I can win.
Right.
And it also has it where on the field, because the enemies are on the field and you can run into them, and it doesn't take you to a separate screen, but it just like takes a second to block everything else off in the area so that you can just focus on fighting what it is that you're bumping into. They do have it where it pops up above the enemy's heads before you bump into them, says, hey, this is a level whatever, and this is its name.
Oh, nice.
Because there's been a couple things where I've seen something running around. It's like, I think I can take that on, and it's level 44, and I'm level 10. And it's like, no, that's not happening at all.
Sorry to bother you, sir.
Yeah. And then run the other way. But yeah, but besides the story being so-so, the only other crappy thing about the game is that the AI is not that great.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're controlling your one character, the AI is controlling the 3 other characters in the battle, and sometimes they won't heal each other or revive each other or anything.
Of course.
Right.
Sometimes they won't even attack. Sometimes you'll be the only one they're attacking for some reason. Yeah. So it's kind of weird in that aspect, but I don't know. I would have paid probably $20-$30 for it. It was just one of those unknowns that I don't want to pay too much money for it.
Yeah.
I'm having fun so far. We'll see what happens a couple hours from now, because there's a whole bunch of other crap that they're starting to introduce, like tuning your weapons, and they have the whole thing where what do they call them? I don't remember what their names are, but they're basically people that could talk to the original dragons, and they have instruments for weapons.
Dovahkiin is the word you're looking for there.
Well, and the first main bad guy that you run into, she has a giant lance that is basically just a supersized version of the dagger flute that Tommy had as a Green Ranger in the original Power Rangers show.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
But that is all I've really been playing.
Speaking of JRPGs, speaking of JRPGs, my final update on SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions. We're talking about nonsense JRPG titles in chat. I can't beat this game, and I'm not. Isn't like quitter talk or anything.
This isn't Boston being a loser kind of can't beat it.
This isn't like just grind some more. The problem is that I did too much grinding in this playthrough, and I motored my way pretty easily through the first 3 routes. I'm literally on the final boss of the final character that I have chosen, and I am completely unable to beat him because I have late in my playthrough I got a really great mage, and I was trying to level up her skill. It's a lightning spell, and it does stupid critical damage and can pretty regularly paralyze multiple enemies with one skill, and only takes 2 turns to cast. So it's really overpowered. But you have to level it up a little bit.
So you can tell I've been playing too much Marvel Strike Force because you're talking about that, and I'm just thinking about the correlating skills to different people in Marvel Strike Force. And
to get the skills upgraded is kind of a process that is not germane to the show. But because of how this character's storyline is set up, by the time I've gotten to this point at the end of the game, I only have 2 regions in the world that I can go into. There's probably 12 or 13, I think, overall. I can only go into these 2, so there isn't a lot of stuff I can do, because normally if I was in this position, I'd go do a whole bunch of side quests, and I'd do a whole bunch of optional stuff out in the world, but I'm at the point where I have done too much grinding, so I've accidentally superpowered the final boss, and the only way to beat him would be to not have done that grinding.
Okay, so you've gone up to him and he's scaled with you, but because you've done too much beforehand, he's overscaled
Yeah, he's like
boned.
accidentally overscaled because I'm kind of trapped in these two areas and I can't go do more stuff to kind of rebalance the scaling.
This is literally min-maxing gone wrong.
Yeah, very much so. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is why I like the SaGa series, because there's so many mechanics and there's so many moving parts and there's so much stuff that all plays against each other, and you're making choices that you may not necessarily know is going to impact other stuff. And I think that is really interesting. I think that's really exciting from a mechanical perspective. But the guy who directs this is Kawazu. In a lot of his games, you do run the chance of that biting you. And I find that really exciting up until the point where it bites you. And the solution to this problem is really easy. I start a new run of this character, and I just kind of go straight from the beginning to the end without doing any of this grinding, and I'll probably be okay. But I don't want to do that because I have already played like 85 hours of this game, and as much as I genuinely do love it, I have other things to do. Like, I have other games to play.
Yep.
Rather than do another playthrough of this.
You've got a farm to start. You've got a spaceship to fly.
Another JRPG to start. So like, there's other games I could be playing, and it bums me out because I love SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions. This is one of the most refreshing and most enjoyable JRPGs I've played in a really long time, and it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time, largely because I love the SaGa series, and the battle system is really what's been propelling me through the multiple storylines. But it's one of those games that I kind of can't recommend to virtually anybody. Like, Nimp, you might enjoy it, but it's not one of those...
Mina, Musum, Nimp. That's it. I'm tapped out.
I don't even know if I would recommend it to Mina or Musum, because I think the benefit of the game is the battle system is really great, and the game makes the most of its budget. So they didn't have a ton of money, so there's no dungeons that's like, oh, I went down this dead end to look for a treasure chest. Oh, there isn't one. So now I have to go through 15 random battles just to get back to the other dead end. Oh, that doesn't have a chest either. You know, like, you don't deal with that JRPG stuff, but at the cost of them reusing a lot of the side stories and quests and stuff for every character. And there are some characters where the ending changes on the Scarlet Shards quest, like it did with the Balmain, the character I'm on now. So it had a cool ending to it, but you're kind of still doing the same thing over and over. You fight the very same final boss at the end of all 4 characters' playthroughs, which is fine, but you know, if you have a low tolerance for some of this stuff repeating while the battle system still stays really strong, then I couldn't recommend it. But if you're looking for a JRPG that's kind of light on story and light on kind of fluff in general, but it's really strong on the fundamental foundational stuff, that's what SaGa Scarlet Grace does really well. And and let me refer to you, viewers who are watching, my wall of JRPGs. Your wall of Vita JRPGs.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games that if you want to try a different JRPG, if you want to try something that Kawazu always makes experimental JRPGs and always makes stuff that's kind of hard, and you kind of, if you don't go into it with a guide, you kind of always like side-eyeing it. It's like, oh, did I just make a mistake? Like, am I over-level? Am I under-leveled? Did I make a mistake on the side quest? Like, I think that stuff is really fresh. Moon, you made a Final Fantasy 13 joke sort of off-air where it's like, corridor to corridor, and then opens up 40 hours later. It's like, this is kind of the opposite of the playing it safe JRPG we've gotten. And there are trade-offs with that. It is fresh and it's exciting, but the trade-off is I can't finish the game, which normally I would think would be a bummer. But I really enjoyed my time with this. I'm really glad I picked it up, and I'm really, really glad I played it, and it will probably be on my top 10 this year.
So,
yeah.
with it being as mechanically based as it is, you're sure there's not anything that you could do, like, oh, you start the boss fight, and if he doesn't do this attack, you're good to go. But if he does this, this, or this, restart your save, and...
So that's what I've been doing this whole week is, all right, I'm going to change up. So your party is called your retinue, and they can have different formations on the battlefield where it's like, okay, your 4 people are going to line up and your caster's going to be behind them, and your caster it costs them less skill points basically to cast their stuff, but they have no protection, and everybody in the front attacks for less, but they have higher defense. It's like, that's one of like 25 different ones. So I was trying to mix and match those where it's like, okay, I'm going to put one that's focused on damage mostly so I can mitigate his attacks. The big problem is the first phase of the boss. He likes to spam this attack called Shade of Shams that stuns your entire party. So, and he always attacks first until like probably 4 or 5 turns, and then he starts moving back in the turn order. So I thought, okay, well, I'll protect my caster with another character. They'll take all the damage, and then once I started using that, and I was like, oh, this is going really well, he started using this spell that attacks everybody in the party and confuses them. So I'm nice. Like, I got a strategy down, and I started doing some damage, and then he started confusing people, so they're just like blocking and randomly attacking, and I couldn't get a foothold, because if I can get that first fight done, the other 2 fights are super easy. The second fight is, hey, I'm gonna call like 3 mirages of me. They don't have a ton of health, and then you can do union attacks with them. And then the third phase is just, hey, fight me 3 times. But like getting through that first phase where he's doing so much damage to my party and confusing them, it wasn't happening. And there's no really heal spells in the game.
Nice.
You have maybe 600-700 HP by the time you're at this point. The heal spell takes 2 or 3 turns to cast and heals you for 50. So useless.
Yay.
Yeah. So it's like, it's all that stuff combined where it's just like, there's no real way to get a foothold to kind of do enough damage to really beat him. And I don't want to spend another like week or 2 kind of grinding and putting all these pieces together and doing all that. So it's a bummer, but I really loved the game, and not being able to finish it doesn't really diminish my love for it. Next game, Division 2. End game progresses. I had a major misunderstanding about how the end game in this game works. So, for anyone who hasn't played the Division 2, really quickly, you finish the game, the Black Tusk invades, which is still super cool, and the world kind of resets. The DC world resets, and they're retaking control points, and they are attacking different regions. Title Update 8 that comes out on the 3rd, by the way, you can make the world peaceful now and reset it at your whim, which is great. Mm-hmm. Part of the end game is raising your world tier, and as your world tier raises, you get better loot and you get better weapons and all that stuff. My misunderstanding was, I thought that you had to complete all of the 5 strongholds, which is they're like 1 to 2 hour dungeons, to raise your world tier once, and then do all of them again to raise it again. And there are 5 world tiers. What's actually the case is you complete one of them, that raises your world tier by 1. You complete the next one, now your world tier 2.
Goes up by 1.
Yeah, so by the time you complete all 5 of them, you're world tier 5, which is a significantly easier and less timely thing than the thing I was thinking you were going to have to do.
So you World Tier 5 now?
I am World Tier 5 now, yeah. And I have completed all of the base game strongholds, including Tidal Basin, the one that was released last in the base game, which was really cool and had a really cool boss fight. I'm now working through, I just finished episode 1 of the DLC, which was 2 strongholds that you're kind of bouncing back and forth between. So you have to do like one of them, then the other one, then go back to the first one to finish the storyline. Now that I finished that, episodes 2 and 3 opened up, the Pentagon and Coney Island. And Coney Island deals directly with the story of Warlords of New York, which is coming out here in a couple of weeks. And it's all about, like, Aaron Keener's back, let's go hunt him down. One-to-one mapping of the lower Manhattan, which is very exciting. I'm super pumped for that to come out. I also didn't... So part of what's exciting me about Division 2 is I don't know much about it. I never knew much about it when it first came out. I was just like, yeah, I spent the 40 hours to clear the campaign, and Black Tusk came in, and I don't want to play all these things again. I didn't know there were gear sets in the game. I knew there were brands, like gear brands, but when my first green item dropped, I was like, what's this thing? What's going on? It's like, 6-piece gear set. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. So, like, I've gotten pretty lucky, and I've gotten, I think, 3 pieces of the gear set. Seems to be pretty strong. The hardwired set, which is basically like, hey, here's plus 20% skill power, and here's my turret now does electricity damage to everybody that's around it. And I had a exotic drop, these gloves that extend my status effects when I put them on enemies, which is great because I do a lot of status effects. And Division 2 is really good.
Yep.
So you and I are playing 2 completely different versions of this game, because I've got maybe one system going right now with
and
as low level as I am.
And I think that's what's really cool about Division 2 is it's like, I know all of this stuff was in there at the beginning. Like, you hit level 30 and you finish the campaign, and the whole world opens up again, and it basically, as you go up the world tier, it'll unlock kind of one new thing every time you go through, where it's like, now you can make exotics, and exotics drop. You get to world tier 4 and 5, now gear sets can drop, and here's what they're... And unlike Destiny 2, the game has really good tutorials that are in-game, where it's like, hey, here's 3 or 4 windows that pop up. It's like, gear sets, here's what they are, here's what they look like, here are the bonuses, go crazy. Cough, cough. So, and I think that's what's really exciting, because I think the base game of Division 2 is really great. That first, like, 40-hour campaign thing is really good, and then they just keep putting more icing on this cake, where it's like, here's some cool stuff, world tiers, exotics, and like, I'm not really going super deep in a lot of this stuff because they're revamping the loot system. When Warlords of New York comes out, they're putting out that big title update for everybody, and they're doing this crazy thing in a loot game where you look at a piece of gear and they'll tell you if it's good or bad or not, just on the gear itself. And they're changing the recalibration station. Like, I've been doing some looking into it, and it all sounds really good. But before that comes out, I wanted to get that base level of, let's get up to World Tier 5, let's clean out a lot of stuff. Now I can, like, raise the difficulty level of control points, which at level 4 of control points, they are stupid hard, because they're basically just wave after wave of yellow bar enemies with a ton of armor. So it is real hard. But Division 2 is really good, and I played a lot of it this week to try and get to that point. And I haven't even done the Pentagon or the Coney Island stuff yet. So Division 2 is great, and it's still on sale for $3.
Go get it, pump 80 hours into it, and then if you're still in the mood, I'm sure that the Kingpin of New York or whatever will be discounted by then.
Yeah, that's only $30 for the new DLC. So, like, it's It's nothing. And I've been surprised at how many people are saying, like, Division 2 is on sale for $3. Is it worth it for that price? And it's like, the answer is not going to be no. It's a $60 game for $3. Like, what are you asking this question for?
I have played 1,000 Gamerscore games in an hour for less than $3 and still say they're worth it.
Yeah,
it's
like
cheaper than a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I just a critically and critically well received and player well received game for $3. Just go buy it. Come on, man. And lastly, just a little bit Fortnite Season 2. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 2 just launched.
Don't tell me about your sexy cat.
Hey man, cute buff cat is my favorite. There's apparently one skin that I just need to get every season. Unfortunately, this one is like rank 60. I don't like this season. let's just lay that out there. So the big theme of the season is like spies. There's two. You unlock all these like a banana and a tux and like a gold spy dude, and there's two warring spy factions. It's like Ghost and Shadow or something stupid. I don't know.
Ghost and Mercs.
Yeah, the part I don't like about this game, about this season, there's a bunch of new buildings and stuff on the map. Of course, they have NPCs in them that will shoot you when you get near them. That sucks. I want 100 people to drop on the island, and that's it. I don't want to have to worry about, hey, does this building have NPCs in it that I need to sneak around? Because, like, Metal Gear style, if they hear you coming, they have the question mark on their head, and if they see you and they start shooting you, they have the exclamation mark. I don't like that at all. Just from a gut reaction is like, yeah, I don't keep being killed by NPCs. This is not bust into a room and there's 6 of them. Like that's not what I'm at in Fortnite for. So, cute buff cat might not be mine because I am not enjoying the season at all.
I believe you can do it.
He's ranked 60, man.
If I can get up to level 100 on Apex with barely playing it, you can do this.
Yeah. The tough part is like, I like the basic, straightforward Fortnite. Like I will say it again, if there was a mode where you could remove the building, that would be so great. Because I like the shooting, I like the movement, I like the weapons. I think it's just a fun game to play. And I understand that they have to change something big every season, because you want to keep it fresh. But I kind of don't like that change. I don't like having to worry about an extra level of stuff. I like that me fighting against 99 other actual real people. So adding that stuff is kind of a bummer. And I'm enjoying Division 2 a lot. And the shooting in that is really good. And that game feels real good to play.
Little bullet spongy still, but it's still kind of the least of my complaints.
Yeah, I feel like some of that stuff recently, they must have tuned it, because I don't feel like that's as much of a problem as it was during launch. It feels a lot more balanced, because during launch it was like, all right, here's a red bar enemy, I'm just going to put a whole clip into him and reload, and a yellow bar enemy, so I'm going to put 10 clips into him, and I'm out of ammo. That stuff feels way better now.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been working
I'm finding
hard
a lot
on
of the
it.
times I don't even have to refill my ammunition that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like the first one, you go through one group of enemies and you're out of everything.
Yeah. So it I don't know. That maybe Epic will make some changes to Fortnite over the season that'll kind of click with me more. But as it stands right now, in its first week, I'm kind of my knee-jerk reaction to this is no, I don't like it. No, thank you. I'm gonna go back to DC, hang out there, do some missions over there. But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break. God, 4. Yes, Dr. Tofu, you should buy Division 2. Oh boy, it is getting hot in here. Moon, while Moon is off, we will check on some new news stories, and then to see if we have any for the show this week, and then we'll kind of blow through this last segment because it is getting late.
Works for me. I need to check on my cat real quick because she is losing her ever-loving mind.
Okay. I'll sit here and talk to chat. How's everyone doing in chat? Thank you, Dr. Tofu, for joining us. Yeah, we already talked about... We're going to talk about releases here in a little bit. And how much Intelligent Systems has grown lately. How big are they now? Wow. They are almost 180 employees now. That's the Fire Emblem team, for those that don't know them. That's great. Good for them. First time I caught you guys live, darn time difference. Yes, yeah, that is... It's hard to find a good time for all this stuff, and we started a little bit later today because apparently we can't stop having technical difficulties. We've been so good for so long, and computers just, unfortunately, just bite us every once in a while. Oh, man. Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out soon. Oh, man.
Oh, there she is.
Can't wait. I think there's a cat in that little...
Come on. Come on, go back.
Oh, okay. I thought there was already a cat in there.
She was in there, but then when I came in, she jumped down.
Oh, okay. I just looked over your screen. I was like, wait, is Dwight in his yurt?
You gonna say hello?
Hi, Louise.
Hello.
Look at that cute kitten face. Just like, please put me down.
Go in. No? Not gonna go in?
Nope. I'm a cat. I'm not going to do it.
What time is it?
7 for you.
Come on then. Come with you, leave. I'm curious if Jess has fed them or not. His hair coming up saying hi and then immediately leaving makes me think no.
Yeah, it's my cat's dinner time now, and that's why Scuttle is no longer allowed in the office, because he's going deaf, so he will very much interrupt this show to let me know that he is hungry. I think he's part Siamese. He has like that real high-pitched... Yeah.
Like Dwight, when you heard him the other day when he came in.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out, cat. Yeah, since it's so late, I'm hoping we can sort of blow through the second segment here. We have no news stories this week, so... Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with the yard work back there. It was extra loud this week. I'm going to have to, like, cut that whole section of my track. I'm going to have to edit a lot tonight.
Have fun with that.
Oh, God.
Real quick thing. Just want to rewind back to the Arrowverse.
Yeah, now
stuff.
the Nymph's gone. Let's get our Arrow stuff in.
Damn it.
Oh, he's back.
You know the John Noble. He plays Denethor in Lord of the Rings. He plays old. What's his name? Hold on, you'll know him when I tell you who this other name, because you've seen this show. He plays.
It's the sound of furious Googling.
Yes, it is. Dr. Walter Bishop in Fringe.
Oh, okay. I have to watch
plays
Fringe again.
He plays the steward of Gondor in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
He does voice acting for one of the main villains in Legends, because it's a incorporeal villain.
An evil cloud.
Yes, an evil cloud. And the way they try and fool the villain's sidekick is by pretending to be him and shrinking down, flying in your ear, and telling her what to do.
Mm-hmm.
The way they do that is they go and kidnap John Noble. Because they're watching Lord of the Rings and they say he sounds similar.
That's really good.
So they go in to get John Noble to record voice acting lines for them. The name of the episode, it's in Legends. The name of the episode is guest starring John Noble.
That's like the level of stupid meta that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Okay.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my son's still playing Final Fantasy VII right now.
Okay.
I helped him with the rocket ship stuff so he could get the huge materia from that,
Oh, yeah.
and then he went to go do the sub stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so he could get that huge materia.
Right.
And I guess
Forgot about
he found Emerald Weapon in there
Yeah.
and decided,
Oh,
oh,
jeez.
I am going to fight him,
this.
and then lost because he was not prepared for it.
Yeah.
So when I went back out there, he's like, "Hey, Dad, what's the passcode for the rocket ship again?" And because I'm a nerd, circle square XX, because I can remember that, but I can't remember trig formulas.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, "Why? What's up?" And he's like, "I died and didn't save." And
Yeah.
his last save was before he took the rocket ship into space. I'm like, what the heck? You thought the big green emerald boss underwater was something
Right.
that you would just check out without saving?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we all have to learn that lesson at some point, I guess. And we all
Yep.
probably learned it with Final Fantasy VII. So he's really getting the true experience.
And I told him, it's like, if you see a red one in a desert, don't do
Yeah.
anything yet, 'cause you are not prepared for anything.
Yeah, leave that one alone,
Yeah.
especially.
Well, just because he could take on Ultima Weapon the one time. He's like, I
Oh,
think I can
right.
take these. I'm like, no, that one's the pushover of the three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these ones are different. All right, you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of February 24th, 2020. Mega Man Zero / ZX Legacy Collection comes out for PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I believe that's 6 games. So those are all...
It's another Mega Man collection. Who cares?
There's a whole bunch of games, and they're all really good. So you already know if you're buying it or not. Rune Factory 4 Special comes out on the Switch. I figure I'm going to have a problem with Stardew Valley, so as much as Mina has been trying to get me to buy Rune Factory 4 Special...
I was going to say, next episode of Pup, you're going to have a problem by yourself.
Oh, yeah, we're going to... Yeah, she's going to... I'm excited because she's such a fan of the series that I'm really excited to see, like, does this sort of remaster / bringing it forward a little bit, does that really do Rune Factory 4 justice? I'm pretty excited to hear her impressions about it. Samurai Showdown comes out on the Switch. This is the most recent Sam Show game, which apparently is pretty good. Sayonara Wild Hearts comes out on Xbox One. You've probably heard a whole bunch about that already, so go check that out. Space Channel 5 VR Kinda Funky Newsflash comes out for PSVR. This is, I didn't realize it's the 20th anniversary of Space Channel 5, so I feel really old. Excuse me while I turn into dust and blow away. But they basically reimagined the original game and built it for VR, which could be really cool with Space Channel 5, with the different movements and the wands and everything. That could be a cool experience. Moon and I are very excited for 2 Point Hospital finally come out on consoles. Comes out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Game Pass day and date on Xbox One. I cannot wait to play that, because I love the original theme Hospital, and I have heard that this runs pretty well. So, what else do we have here? Metro Redux comes out on Switch. God, there's like 400 games that come out this week. That's the smushing together. Oh, I just messed up my shock mount here. That's the mashup of Metro 2033 and Last Light, and they kind of made a whole bunch of improvements to both to kind of make them flow from one to the other. Ganbare Super Strikers. This is the title that Moon was watching a trailer for this week and said, oh no, it is a grid-based tactics soccer game. So that comes out on Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and Vita. Looks like it's only going to be $10 on Switch, so I'm hoping it's going to be the same price everywhere. That game looks pretty cool. That seems like a game made for us nerds on this show. Yeah, there you go. You wanted to play more XCOM. Ganbare Super Strikers got what you need.
Yep.
And last, but certainly not least, most importantly, coming out Xbox One and Game Pass, Yakuza 0. Please go play this game. It's so good. It's so good. And now Moon can play it on his preferred platform, and I'm hoping you do, because Yakuza 0 is
I've
really
played a lot of Yakuza 0. This is just a chance to restart it. And
That's right. And now get achievements for it. Scooch up that leaderboard.
Please, scooch up the leaderboard. Who
Please,
do you think is
I'm
number
sitting at
one
the
in the
top.
leaderboard?
Yeah, those are my leaderboards. All right, we don't have any news stories this week because nothing super great happened this week, and we're running super long today because of technical problems. So let's move on to our questions this week from T-Bomb Rocks in Discords on the internets. What's your favorite and least favorite video game sound effect?
Mine has always been Legend of Zelda when you find something hidden.
Yeah.
That's actually a text message ringtone that I have on my phone.
Yeah.
I can tell you one that moved from one to the other. It started as one of my favorites and then very quickly turned into one of my least favorites.
Is it the MGS exclamation noise?
1,000%.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I might be in Moon's corner here. I kind of don't want any more people throwing up in video games just randomly. Like, if it's in a cutscene or something, like, that's understandable, but, like, I don't want to poison someone and have someone make that horrible retching noise for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't really have a least favorite. For my wife, though, anything squishy.
Oh,
Like-
yeah, where you're, like, walking
Like
through a swamp
zombies
or something.
that. The tic-tacking noises that spiders apparently make in every fantasy RPG game.
Yep. Yeah, the, like, skittering spider noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that I really don't... I don't like whimpering dogs or anything like that, but that's just kind of... I don't know if that's a video game thing.
It's not really a sound effect so much as I don't like hearing things that I know that are big that I can't see and don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would really qualify, but
Mr. X coming for you.
oh yeah, he's gonna give it to you, whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
Because really, a lot of the things like with horror games, it's like there's a lot of noises in there that I don't like, but that's because they're trying to set a mood.
Yeah,
but
like
it's not really anything that bothers me per se.
Yeah, it's like that's the point of them, so
Yeah.
you're supposed to hate them? Yeah. God, what else? This is such a weird question, because I feel like there's the common answers where it's like, picking up a ring in Sonic, like that sound is really great, but I'm trying to think of stuff that is more off the beaten path. And I feel like I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I can tell you kind of a sound effect that I absolutely hate. More of a musical piece. It's the stupid Sonic drowning music.
Oh, man. And like that blub blub noise he makes when he finally succumbs to the icy depths of the water. Yeah.
Yep.
One sound effect I really do like, and I'm surprised I didn't think about this, is the chainsaw revving noise from Gears of War. And like the chainsaw sawing noise, like that's just a really great, just a solid, like when you're carrying it around and it's still revving and it's just doing the like that's still a really good noise. But I feel like I'm kind of drawing a blank. I don't know if that says something about modern games or not. But
How about when my console hard locks in the middle of a sound?
right. Just doing that repeating noise over and over. Yeah. I feel... I don't know if I can think of anything else recently. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, T-Bomb Rocks thankfully has another question here, our final question. Mattel is making mini NFC-enabled toys for Minecraft Earth. What game franchise or game would you like to see get a similar treatment? For me, it would be either Diablo or Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is a fun one, because you could make ones of all the characters. I feel like stuff like Destiny and The Division and Diablo and like loot-based games like this, I feel like you could make a lot of NFC ones of like famous gear pieces and weapons. Like you can make little Like, here's this famous weapon from Diablo, and here's this famous exotic gun from Division. That could be pretty cool.
Well, I remember when there used to be from Wowhead, you used to be able to import your character from Wowhead to a model site and have a model of your exact gear that your guy was wearing made.
God, that was so cool. I never did that.
You can do that on websites for D&D characters too.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And you can almost fully customize it in really weird and awesome ways.
That's cool.
They're stupid expensive, but they're awesome.
Dr. Tofu in chat says Monster Hunter. That's a really good. Can I have like a Palico at the very least? All the different Palicos?
Fallout would be a cool one, having
the
different body armors and then and the bobbleheads.
Yeah, the bobbleheads, yeah. I'm surprised Square Enix hasn't done that for some Final Fantasy mobile game. Although I guess a lot of phones don't do NFC anymore.
Hey, if you bought the Final Fantasy 12 remake Super Collector's Edition, you get a bust of all of the judges. And I think that thing was like $300.
Yeah, I feel like as much as I love Final Fantasy 12, I probably looked at that special edition where it's like, yeah, this is super, whoop, gotta go.
Yep.
Like the Final Fantasy 7 one with like Cloud on the motorcycle where it's like, this is super $500. See ya.
Yep.
Or I could just buy a $10,000 watch.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't ever Google Monster Hunter figures, because we always seem to forget that Monster Hunter made it big here recently. But it's been really big in Japan for a long time.
Oh no!
And what does Japan have a lot of? Hobby shops.
Yeah.
So
Rathalos figure.
There may or may not be a figure builder feline set.
Oh no!
That has like 6 different models in.
That's pretty cool.
And it's like $200.
But it has 6 different models. That's where I get in trouble.
Some of these figures are insane.
Per model, it's so cheap. Oh, if you want to hear a peek into my mind, that's how I get in trouble with these things.
I was gonna say, because I would like that kind of stuff for just like iconic games where the NFC wouldn't work, like Metal Gear Solid. Like, you know how many times I've looked at getting a Metal Gear Rex model kit?
Yeah, like I've seen some of the Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear Ray. I've seen some of those Ray model kits where it's like, I cannot buy and build a model. Get that out of your cart.
The Jahute kit and the Anubis kit.
God, don't even get me started.
They're stupid expensive, but my God, are they beautiful.
I'd love one for Jahute because that frame just looks so cool.
For the record, by the way, the pink Rathian is only $26.
That's a steal.
How tall is it?
It is
only 50 feet.
1.8 something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.8 meters.
So apparently our answer to this is we need to get off of eBay and get off of Amazon Japan because there's too many cool things that we want.
I mean, yeah, if you make a mini anything toy, I'll buy it. I mean, hell, look at my shelf. I've got like amiibos and my Disgaea figures, and
I've got a. They're not. I don't think they're in the frame. I had a whole bunch of mini Destiny ghosts. So like, we've all got the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Before we buy anything ill-founded on Amazon, that's our episode this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Talked about at the beginning of the show. Early access. A lot of uncensored behind-the-scenes stuff this week because nothing but problems. So you can get all that stuff. $5 a month is the recommended tier. That is per month and not per episode. So it's only $5 a month. Game Club, talked about that earlier. We're playing Stardew Valley right now. There's a brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks coming out here the last Friday of the month. And I think that's probably it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
goodbye.
Okay, it is suspiciously quiet downstairs. I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, it got like stupid loud in my living room with my dog for some reason.
No. Maybe my house is just transferring the noise over to you.
I guess.
Probably.
All right, Nim, hit me with your titles.
All right, I have new season, new character, new fun. Game got hard. Squish, squish, squish. I just stormed a floater. I'll get you your corpse. Go crazy, cough, cough. Cute buff cat. And I don't like this season.
Cute buff cat. All right, Moon.
It had a rocky launch. Did you really need it? Now I can play it wherever. Mr. Prinny himself. Here come the Latin lyrics. Generic medieval name here. This one could be split in half to make one, but it's 23 years later, still scarring kids. Shorter version, still scarring kids. It's the names. Min-maxing gone wrong. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. Cute buff cat. And these are my leaderboards.
I have, so the game got hard, squishy like a bug. Here come the Latin lyrics. All the corpses in due time. Thank you to Dr. Tofu. And cute buff cat. I put a check mark next to cute buff cat because that showed up in all three of ours. And here come the Latin lyrics. Anything else anyone really clicks with?
I like Mr. Prinny himself, but that's just because it's such a nerd reference about one of our hosts.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen Nimp online anywhere,
Yeah.
you know exactly who he is.
Prinnies are cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
And they explode.
Yep.
That's why they're so cool.
Yeah.
Choppy
Unstable
armor
souls.
from chat.
Yeah, Dimebag has a good one. Choppy armor.
I like Here Come the Latin Lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one's strong. I think that's stronger than cute buff cat. I'd vote for Latin lyrics personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me just highlight it really.
And let me know when you gents are ready.
I got nothing. But sure. Why not?
I got something. We'll find out if it
love
works.
One-Winged Angel. That's literally Latin, all Latin lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 644 for February 24th, 2020. Here come the Latin lyrics.
Is it the final form?
Safari.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. Thank you for watching us. Apologies again for the technical issues. Thank you, Dr. Tofu, for joining us for the first time live. Hopefully you get to join us more in the future. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.